I'm sorry. I'm really not feeling well, so can you please take out the garbage? It's just really heavy and it's too difficult for me.
What? How dare you ask me to take out the garbage when I'm just about to go to work?
Excuse me?
God, you're unbelievable. You're the housewife.
Yeah, but I'm really not feeling so well.
Being pregnant isn't a disease, you know. You're lying that you can't move around. You just want to slack off, don't you?
No, that's not it.
Anyway, if you keep acting like a spoiled brat, I'll have to rethink about how our relationship will be.
No way. My name is Bernadette. I'm 27 years old, and I'm working at a company. I met my husband, Jonathan, due to work. He was one of our business partners, and he approached me, who was working in the reception, aggressively, and repeatedly asked me out on dates. I initially refused, but as he kept asking me out, I thought he was serious about this and decided to give it a go. Then he was funny and kind, and the date was really fun. So we started going on dates again and began to officially go out. And we got married 2 years later. From then on, we lived happily together as a couple. Then I became pregnant. Since we had only been married for 1 year, I did not expect to have a child so soon. Jonathan, we're going to be parents from now on. Today at the clinic, I found out that I was pregnant.
Seriously? So, I'm going to be a father, huh?
My husband was very surprised and very happy to hear the news of my pregnancy. We also told Jonathan's parents right away, and they were both overjoyed.
I never thought I would be able to see my grandchild's face so soon.
I'm so happy. I'm sure the baby is going to be a very cute baby. My mother-in-law, Mina, was very concerned about my physical condition since it was my first time getting pregnant. If you need anything, please feel free to contact me for any help, okay? Thank you very much. After that, my pregnant belly was getting bigger and bigger. Oh, did the baby just kick it? So I guess there is a little life inside of me, in my belly here. I hope a healthy baby will be born. I spent my days with my heart filled with anticipation like that. Then everything happened all at once. I don't feel so well. Suddenly I was overcome by a terrible feeling of nausea. Could this be morning sickness? Whether I was at work or on my way to work, morning sickness came on without mercy. Everywhere I went, any smell was just too strong for me to handle. I felt much sicker than I had expected, and I knew I couldn't continue working any longer. So I decided to discuss this with my husband. Sorry, I really wanted to keep working until I could take maternity leave, but I was wondering if I could quit work already? When I said this to my husband, he replied saying,
Oh, if that's what you want, honey, then why not?
In a really easy tone. I was taken aback when Jonathan said that. I hadn't really explained to him about how I was experiencing severe morning sickness or anything like that. I wondered if he was really taking me seriously. I even wondered to myself that about him. But since my husband agreed, I took his word for it and quit work. After that, I became a housewife and waited for the birth of our child while taking care of the house. Being home alone, my health was more stable than at work. This would allow me to spend the time until the birth of our baby peacefully. I thought so, but then my physical condition immediately worsened. Apparently, the severity of morning sickness and the physical condition during pregnancy varies from person to person, and I seemed to be the one who was having a hard time. I thought about going back to my parents' house, but my parents' house is far away, and both of my parents have recently become physically weak because of their age. So I didn't want to burden them too much with me being like this. I was anxious about having a baby for the first time, but I was sure that if I worked together with my husband, we would be able to get through it. With this in mind, I spent my days with my husband, even though it was hard for me. But unfortunately, my health did not improve at all. Even the house chores I've been doing felt more and more difficult. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling so well today, so I'm wondering if we can have dinner delivered or buy some already made meals. Honestly, I would have wanted my husband to cook for me. But when we got married, he said that he really can't cook, so it would be difficult to rely on him. So I suggested the option of delivery or prepared food. Then my husband widened his eyes and got angry.
Huh? Why? You're supposed to be the one to cook.
What?
I come home tired from work, and you're trying to make me eat something terrible, which isn't homemade meal?
No, I just really don't feel well.
What? Do you have a fever or something like that?
No, I don't have any fever, but I've been feeling really nauseous, and to be honest, I'd like for you to prepare it by yourself.
Huh? Are you trying to make me go through all the trouble just for dinner?
No, so I told you we can get some already made meals or have a delivery.
I can't believe this.
I'm really sick, and it's difficult for me.
You're just being a spoiled brat. You're a housewife, so do it right.
What?
God, I've been working hard to earn money for you and our baby.
Saying that, my husband left the house and went to his office, leaving me while giving me a cold glare. My husband was not being cooperative with me. He really did not understand what it's like to be pregnant. I wondered if we would be able to live together after our baby was born. Then came another day when I was helplessly sick. On that day, it was already hard to get up in the morning, and since my belly was getting quite big, it was hard to even just walk around the house. But it was a day where we could take out our garbage, and I had to take a large garbage bag to the dump. Since it was just too difficult for me, I had to ask my husband to do it. I'm sorry. I'm really not feeling so well, so can you please take out the garbage? It's just really heavy and it's too difficult for me. When I said that, my husband widened his eyes like before and got really angry.
What? How dare you ask me to take out the garbage when I'm just about to go to work?
Excuse me?
God, you're unbelievable. You're the housewife.
Yeah, but I'm really not feeling so well.
Being pregnant isn't a disease, you know. You're lying that you can't move around. You just want to slack off, don't you?
No, that's not it.
Anyway, if you keep acting like a spoiled brat, I'll have to rethink about how our relationship will be.
No way. Saying that, my husband went to work without taking out the garbage. As expected, I couldn't just leave the garbage there. I wondered what to do and decided to talk to Mina about it. I thought it would be a hassle for her, but I was in a really bad shape, so I had to talk to Mina about it. Hello? Oh, Bernadette, what's wrong, sweetie? I'm really sorry to call you early in the morning like this, Mina. Actually, I'm not feeling well at all. Oh, no. Are you okay? I'll head over there quickly, okay? Thank you so much. And since I can't really move much being like this, I couldn't take out the garbage. Take out the garbage? You could have just asked Jonathan to do that while he's leaving for work. I did, but he refused to do so, and he's already gone to work. What? What on earth is Jonathan thinking? All right, I'll quickly head over there, and I'll also take out the garbage for you. Thank you so very much. Mina came right over and took out the garbage, despite my urgent request. And she did all the house chores and cooked me a refreshing meal that I could even eat, even when I wasn't that hungry. Was Jonathan like this to you, leaving the house chores to you all the time? Yes. I guess my dissatisfaction towards my husband had built up more than I realized. And since I had hardly been talking with other people since becoming a housewife, I had no one to really talk to. So when Mina approached me gently, it was as if a dam had burst, and tears welled up profusely from my eyes. Bernadette? Mina, I'm so sorry. I had no intention to cry in front of you like this. Oh, what's wrong, Bernadette? I boldly told Mina everything. Mina might take the side of her own son, but I didn't have time to worry about that. When I finished with my story, Mina began to tremble. That's unbelievable. Well, I guess I have to make sure that I teach Jonathan then. And Mina waited at home with me until my husband came home.
I'm home. Whoa, Mom, why are you here?
I came because Bernadette told me that she wasn't feeling well.
Huh? Hey, Bernadette, you shouldn't cause any trouble to my mom.
My husband sighs as he says that. Then Mina got closer to my husband and got very angry with him. Jonathan! Who do you think you are?
What?
You said that Bernadette isn't sick, or that she's slacking off house chores, or some such nonsense, didn't you?
Well, but it's true.
You're so stupid. Pregnancy is certainly not a disease, but because it's life-threatening, it's more painful than you can imagine. Because it's not a disease, there's no medicine for it, and all you can do is rest. And yet, you don't even do your house chores. And to top it all off, you verbally abuse her. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Mina was furious with how Jonathan was treating me, and hearing her words, my husband was so upset that he was at a loss for words. Anyway, the next time you do something to Bernadette like that, I won't approve of it.
I'm sorry.
My husband finally apologized. He seemed to realize that he had been arrogant for the first time when Mina got angry at him. After that, my husband began to tell me that I didn't have to force myself to do any of the house chores. He also began to tell me that already-made meals were fine, and he even started taking out the garbage. The stress I had before was way better, and my health stabilized. And finally, I gave birth. A healthy baby girl was born. My husband was delighted to see his daughter. He held her in his arms happily and said,
"Thank you, Bernadette."
I thought to myself, oh, Jonathan is going to be a great father. That was what I thought to myself. But there was another problem. My husband was very protective of our daughter, but he literally did not do anything to help me take care of her. Even when he held her in his arms and nursed her, as soon as she started to cry, he pushed her onto me, didn't make her any milk, and didn't even change her diapers. This meant that I had to interrupt every single one of my chores to take care of our daughter. Even when I was cooking, my husband would say,
"Hey, something stinks. You better change your diaper."
I said, "I can't take my hands off right now, so can you do it?" And to that, Jonathan would say,
"No way. This is the wife's job, isn't it?"
I felt like my husband was back to his old self again. My husband left me to take care of our daughter, So I had to do the house chores every day, woken up by our daughter crying at night, and I ended up having hardly any sleep. My body was exhausted, and it took me a long time to do anything.
Oh, dinner isn't ready yet?
Sorry, I was putting her to bed, and it took me so long to go to the supermarket.
Bernadette, haven't you been sloppy lately?
Excuse me?
You're not pregnant anymore, and you're in perfect physical condition, right? You really shouldn't be making any excuses now.
My husband's comment made me lose all the feelings I had for him. Why can't he ever seem to understand how the other person's feeling? I'm sorry. I thought it was useless to deal with my husband any longer. When I was pregnant, my husband didn't understand how hard it is to be a pregnant woman, and he changed his attitude after reflecting on his own situation. But when he repeated similar issues like this, I just knew that everything was helpless. Besides, my husband must know that I wake up at night because of our daughter cries. I could forgive him the first time, but not the second. I contacted my parents, explained the situation, and told them I wanted a divorce. Both my father and mother told me that people like him would repeat the same thing no matter how many times I tell them. So if I think that it's not going to work anymore, then they said that they would support my opinion and welcome me into their home. I therefore made up my mind to divorce Jonathan as soon as I was ready. Then one day, my husband came home late at night, really drunk. I had just put our daughter to bed, and I was angry at him for falling in the doorway. But I was afraid that my daughter would catch a cold if I left Jonathan there unattended by the doorway, so I kept him awake and carried him to the bedroom. The next day, I was breastfeeding my daughter when I suddenly received a text message from my husband. I thought, why is he texting me when I'm in the next room? When I looked at the message, he asked me to come to the bedroom. I didn't understand what he meant, so I didn't pay attention to it, and kept breastfeeding my daughter when the message came again, this time asking me to hurry up. I had no choice but to finish breastfeeding my daughter and put her to bed before going to the bedroom. Then I saw my husband laying down on the bed, who saw me and said in a small voice,
"You're late."
"What is it?" "You kept on sending messages over text message."
"I don't feel too well. Could you bring me a glass of water?"
"Huh?"
"I'm not feeling well."
"You're just hungover, right?"
"Yeah, but I'm really not feeling well at all. So, please, get me a glass of water."
"Why don't you just do that on your own?"
"What? You're terrible. When I'm just suffering like this."
"Well, being hungover is not a disease, Besides, aren't you being a spoiled brat for even asking me to get you a glass of water?"
"What?"
I said that as I left the bedroom. After that, my husband texted me some more messages, but I kept on ignoring with the notification off. Then, about a few minutes later, my husband came to get some water. And after he drank the glass of water, he seemed to regain some of his energy.
"Hey, what was that attitude of yours? Aren't you being a little too arrogant?"
"How can you even look down on people and talk to people like that?"
"Well, I'm in a better position than you, so it's only natural, right? But I couldn't care less about that. A wife who doesn't try to help her husband when he's suffering is the worst. You've been so lazy with the house chores lately, I don't even know what you're doing. I'm just so disappointed in you."
"I see. Then I'll just leave."
"What?
"Let's just get a divorce."
Divorce? Wait a minute. What are you saying all of a sudden?"
"It's not all of a sudden. Do you know how much you disappointed me?"
"Huh? You don't make any sense."
Then just in time, my in-laws arrived. I had called them while my husband was suffering from a hangover.
"Why did you call my mom and dad?"
I wanted to talk about our divorce properly. My in-laws were surprised that I suddenly mentioned the word divorce. I'm really sorry, Mina and Taylor, for everything you've done for me. But I've reached my limit. What happened? Could it be that Jonathan has caused trouble to you again, Bernadette? Yes. I explained to my in-laws that even though my husband does not take care of our child at all, he complains to me about me slacking off and doing house chores.
Hey, why are you telling on them about me?
Then Mina shouted at my husband angrily. I told you the last time, didn't I? If you caused any more trouble to Bernadette, there would be no second time.
My goodness, this kind of thing wouldn't be forgiven a second time.
My husband is absolutely mortified when he finds out that his own parents won't take his side.
Oh, well, but she's terrible too.
What is so terrible about her? She's in a situation that's several times worse than you, and yet she's doing a fine job raising your daughter and taking care of the house.
Oh, Bernadette, I'm really sorry about our stupid son. I will see through it that you will get a divorce, so please don't worry. No way!
My husband stubbornly refused to get a divorce, but finally, his parents argued with him, and he agreed to the divorce. After that, we divorced without any issues, and I returned to my parents' home. Actually, I found out that my ex-husband had been bragging about how loving he was as a husband, and how he was raising our daughter at his work. But I knew someone at my ex-husband's workplace, so this whole incident came to light within his workplace. Now everyone is giving Jonathan a cold shoulder, and he feels really awkward being at his office, but he can't quit because he has to pay for child support. Well, he deserves everything he gets. I, on the other hand, was able to find a job right away and work while leaving my child at daycare, thanks to my parents' effort to find a daycare center in advance. Now I am working hard as a single mother and raising my daughter with the support of my parents. I would like to continue to watch my precious daughter grow up close to me. I wouldn't want a husband who won't try to understand the pain of a pregnant woman and verbally abuse her non-stop. Even if he is sorry once, when he repeats the same thing again, we are done for. At any rate, I am glad that Bernadette's in-laws were decent people. I know it must be tough being a single mother, but I hope Bernadette takes care of herself and does her best in raising her daughter. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.